Good evening, everybody. Welcome in. I hope we're doing well. I hope we're doing amazing. Hope we're having a wonderful time indeed. How are we all feeling today? Tash, a happy Pi Day to you. You wonderful being. Let's see. I can see that my main camera is slightly enlarged. Can we just drag me around a little bit? Make myself a little bit smaller. That was a bit extreme, I would say. There we go. That's a bit better. You know what? I'm gonna do your TTS right away, just so you know. I'm gonna do your TTS right away, because it is well deserved. It is indeed Pi Day.
/Tasha says Happy Pi Day.
How are you doing? I hope you're gonna have a wonderful, or you're having a wonderful day today. I never can figure out these time zone differences. I never can. It's something. I promise. Guys, today we are going to have ourselves an absolute blast. I have the YouTubes open. We are live both on Twitch and on YouTube, and we are gonna have ourselves a wonderful time, because today we are going to be answering the age-old question, which is actually really very new. Yeah, it's not age-old at all. I know it sounds funny to say age-old question. It really isn't age-old. Literally, we are just gonna be testing. We are gonna be doing some tests, and specifically we are gonna be testing two things. Which one is better? Is it gonna be OBS or is it going to be Meld? And that is what we are going to be doing for a while. You just need to move over to your side of the world already. And here I was planning to move over to your side of the world. Well, I mean, if you really want to come over here, I will not stop you. Hey, Viking Pixie, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a good day today. Oh, I am. I'm looking forwards to today. I am really looking forwards to today because it is gonna be fantastic. Ireland is the hope for now. Oh, that could be good fun. Hey, Specking, how are you doing? Is the question, what's the best pizza topping and why is it pineapple? No, the question is right there in the title. Meld Studio or OBS Studio? What is the best streaming studio? That's what we're going to be looking at today. And I had to do some preparations. Yeah, I had to do some preparations. I have downloaded and installed Meld, and I have downloaded OBS and the plugins that we are going to need to do what I want to do today. You know what? I'm going to be honest. I made notes. Yeah, I made notes so that I'm not going to forget the random stuff that happens. Brain hurt, title confuzzling. It's... No, you're just pretending it is. Yeah, you are. You're just pretending it is. But the good news is we have almost literal doctor's orders to have me being able to be heard by Frosty again. So Frosty will be able to assist where necessary again, which is lovely. Yeah, apparently when Freya went to nursery today, she was quite unhappy that... She was quite unhappy with sleeping because there was probably too much noise in the background. So they said, you know what? You're going to have to try and leave some noise going to make some disruptions while she's sleeping at home so she can get used to sleeping with noise. And the chosen noise is me. I am the noise. That's what we're going to go with today. So we are going to start off with this comparison. We are going to do... We are going to do 4 things. We are going to test Meld, test OBS, and we're going to get to a a final judgment. What is better, Meld or OBS? And we will also address some of the questions that are not particularly streaming related, but are still very important for you to think about when you choose either one of these. And we'll do that nearer the end. So I'm just gonna have a quick look here. We're gonna do 4 tests, as I said. We're gonna first do the streaming setup for a beginner. How difficult, how much time does it take for you to go from 0 to being able to stream? That is really the question we're going to be answering. I get the feeling that that is where Meld is going to win. However, once we move on to the second test, which is the advanced transitions, which I'm gonna test for a very specific reason, mind you, a very specific reason. I think that is where we are going to see OBS triumphing, or at least matching Meld in ease of use, if not versatility. Then we are gonna look at Streamer.Bot. What works best? Does Streamer.Bot work best with OBS, with Meld, or with either? And then lastly, we are gonna have a look at what costs more resources. So I will be streaming to a second channel. We'll be looking at how much it impacts my GPU, my CPU for each of them, and then we'll see how that goes. Hey, Breezify, how you doing? How you doing? But that is the test. We are taking this serious for those that haven't seen it. Back in September, I think it was, somewhere last year, I was made aware of Meld Studio, and we did actually do a live stream over on YouTube where we were looking at the capabilities of Meld Studio. And we're going to leave the capabilities of Meld Studio out of this for now. So how much it can do, you can go check that. That is live, still on the YouTube. You can watch the stream back, see how it looks, see what we did with it, and how everything works. Today, we are really focusing on this comparison. By the way, if you're here on Twitch, hello, welcome in. Hope you're all doing well. If you're here on YouTube, hope you're all doing well as well. We are live on both places. If you want to say hi, I will try and say hi back, and we are going to have some fun. Of course, we're gonna switch over to the other side. Let's get the screens up. Make sure that's the wrong button. Let's get the screens up. Make sure that everything is working. Look, we have here the OBS. The Meld I could not put on the desktop, but we will be using 4 plugins for OBS today. We will be using Move Transition, OBS Stroke Shadow Glow, Advanced Masks, and Source Clone. Now, of course, if you guys want links to these, I can provide them, but really it's simple. Just Google the names. Google the names, you'll find them. No problem whatsoever. And if you guys do want to give some TTS, that is also possible over on Twitch. Of course, if you have any questions along the way, feel free to ask them. I should be able to read both of your chats. Not a worry, not a worry. Hey, Hungry, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing amazing. So, for test number 1, we are going to open Meld. And as I said, I have done nothing with Meld whatsoever. I've downloaded it, I've installed it, and I'm ready to just see what happens. This is what you see when Meld comes out. And then we are also going to do the same boot up for OBS, and we'll go through everything, and hopefully the idea is that we are just going to set it up as quick as we can to a point where we feel ready to stream, where I would feel ready to stream. So what does that actually mean? Well, we are going to need, I would say we are going to need three things, and only three things. We are going to need the game. We are going to need a face cam. And we are going to need alerts. On top of that, I want to add 3 or 2 scenes. I want to have a gaming scene. And I want to have a just chatting scene. If I could spell just, that would be fantastic. So I think these are sort of the key things that you need, even as a complete beginner streamer, to be able to stream. Hey, Elmo, how are you doing? How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. I think you just sent that as a TTS, actually. You've decided to... I'll read yours after this, Specking.
Elmo76 says, good afternoon. Hope you're doing good.
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much. Luckily, the illness that Frosty has not infected me, so I'm very happy with that. You've decided you want to give streaming a try and see how you feel about it. You went through your videos about setting up OBS. Hopefully you set everything up okay-ish and try tomorrow. But to be honest, the best advice I got from you was nobody cares. Yeah. You always were like, I can't do that. I'm not good. And what if this? And what if that? But now you're like, yeah, nobody cares. Literally nobody cares when you start streaming. You just stream and see if you like it. See if you enjoy the process. It's first when you get much further in and you start building that community. Then you need to make good content. Yeah, I completely agree with you, Specking. I completely agree with you. Okay, so we are going to need 2 scenes. And I said, so one big difference between OBS and Meld is that OBS calls it scenes and sources, while Meld calls it scenes and layers. Really not much of a difference. So we're going to jump in. Let's see what happens. We're going to start with our first scene on Meld, and this is going to be our gaming scene. And the first thing we are going to add, of course, is our game. Now, of course, we are not currently playing a game. So playing the role of the game, that will be a recording that we have. And for that, I will use last night's stream where we played Repo. Yeah, so we're just gonna, it literally is just a stream recording. So I'm just gonna drop that in. Why is that 60? Ah, thank you. Yes, much better. Yeah, we're just gonna leave that playing. From somewhere around, yeah, there's actual gameplay. So we're gonna pretend that the game has now been added. And yes, that is how easy it is. You just press the plus in your layers. You say, where is it? I think it's currently display capture. And then you capture just your screen and you're ready to go, right? So that is really not a problem whatsoever. It's super easy to set up. And then we are going to add the camera. Now, you guys might be able to see a little bit double because the camera that I am going to add is just my camera. And in the meantime, I also have a little doggy trying to get all the cuddles. So... Yes, come on then. Come on. Yeah, you can say hi. You can say hi to the people. Yes. Are you being a good girl? Are you being a good girl? Is that it? Hey, King. Hey, Juice. How you guys doing? Let me just grab it. Oh, yes. Oh, you are being very, very, very rough today, you. Hey, go on then. There we go. That was Queenie coming for a speedy visit. She really wants to be here. So
Viking Pixie says head pats for Queenie.
Thank you, Viking Pixie. Hey, Valerian, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing amazing. So we are gonna just here we are going to add I think it's video device, and then we select the whoa, hello, it's me. I'm also here. Yeah, that's fine, actually. You know what? That is absolutely fine. Now, there are a few things on Meld that are really, really interesting. So one of the things is you can much easier resize and crop because you can see how much of the screen you are actually cropping, which is honestly probably one of the things that I actually really like about this. You have this ability. And Luxies, thank you so much for the follow, you absolute legend. And then you just press the crop button again and it crops it, right? But the major thing is you can also just grab the corner, pull that in, and now you have rounded corners for your camera. I still think we're a little bit wide here, so I'm going to shrink it a little bit. Chocolate Bunny, thank you so much for the follow as well. You absolute legend. There we go. I quite like that, to be honest. Now, I do like looking into the screen so that when I am actually streaming, I am looking towards it, which is really cool. It just makes it a bit easier. So I'm going to flip it, not vertical, horizontal. And we're just going to put it on this side. There we go. I think now my gaming scene is ready, except for alerts. Now, luckily, the alerts, the sounds are coming through. Oh. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you, Frosty. Fixed it. Yeah, I've muted them. I don't know why they were coming through, but that's fine. That's absolutely fine. So now we've already added the camera and we've added the gameplay. All we still need to add for our gaming scene are our alerts, right? That's the only thing that's still left. And we've been doing this for about 4 minutes. So that is great. Absolutely amazing. I'm gonna quickly answer a question here. King is asking, being that I use Streamer.Bot, the big question is, does Meld play nice with Streamer.Bot? Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, Streamer.Bot has an integration for Meld, and that is why we are going to be testing that as test number 3. This is test number 1 we are in right now. Hey, Swordfish, how are you doing? Apparently, my Streamer.Bot is not checking out the YouTubes. So I'm going to put the YouTube chat over here as well so that I am sure to read everybody's stuff. Just grabbing that. Making sure it's here. I'm both here and on Twitch. I'm on both locations at the same time at the moment. You just switched to Meld for OBS. It's not perfect, but there's much less to keep up with than OBS. See, that's the thing that I feel that could be very helpful for people that use Meld, right, Swordfish? It really helps that these, that Meld is much easier to set up and much quicker to set up as well. Yeah, I am on both platforms. Priestify is asking, that setting is a game changer. You've got a basic mask on your camera on OBS, but the advanced mask plugin bricked your frames for some reason. That sounds weird. You might want to see if you can get into contact with Finite Singularity, because I've not heard it do that before. However, once again, super easy to set up your alerts on Meld, especially if you're on Twitch. But if you're not on Twitch, this works as well. You just have to find your provider. What we're going to do for this is we are actually going to grab a Twitch page, and I'm just opening my own Twitch page, by the way. Yeah, we are just quickly opening my own Twitch page, and then I am gonna go ahead into the alerts manager, and we are gonna create an alert box. We're gonna click down here on browser source, copy. We're going to shrink that, and then we are going to add a browser source. Then here on the right-hand side, all we need to do is fill in the URL, and that is it set up. Yeah, we've just set up Twitch alerts on Meld. Look, Swordfish comes in, and you can actually see the alerts live right there. Let's go. That is fantastic. Swordfish, thank you so much for the follow as well. That is much appreciated. So Now that we have this set up, the only thing we need to do is toggle the add an audio track for the source. And I'm going to mute that one, but that allows us to use our or control our audio source from the browser source, so our alerts, straight into Meld. And that is the Meld setup done. Oh, that's awesome, Swordfish. So, just so you know, first off, thank you for the follow. Secondly, I am live every Tuesday and Friday. Yeah, I usually do a lot of Streamer.Bot stuff. I build some widgets, we talk about things, I answer questions, give tips, that sort of stuff. So you're always welcome to hang out. And oh, I can't read that name. Sarmad? Sarmadi? Let me know how you doing. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for the follow as well. So that is our gaming scene set up. Right? That is our gaming scene set up. Which is really, really nice. That's just it done. Now what we're going to do is we're now going to set up a... what you call that? Just chatting scene. That's what we're going to do. We're going to set up a just chatting scene. So we're going to add a scene. We're going to rename that scene. And we're going to call it Just Chatting. Meld, yeah, so Chocolate Bunny, a lot of people say that Meld is more, I wouldn't say dummy friendly, but it's definitely more beginner friendly than OBS is. However, the big question is, how much does that cost you? Like, how much how much heavier is Meld? How much, what's it called? How much more resources does it cost on your computer? And also, how much variety do you get? Because OBS is, of course, open source, so anybody can make plugins for it, and you can make your own plugins for it. And Meld, that is all closed, so you don't have that sort of freedom. Can you try a game outside of Steam? For some reason, Meld won't let me capture, like, GOG or Epic's games. Ooh, you don't want to do it by capturing the entire game. Whoa. That is a really, really good question. Oh, this also allows windows to be captured. I mean, we can... Let me see. We can see if we can do that. Open Epic Games. I don't even know if I have any games that are not just dead on this account. If there's anything updated, that would be great. I can't remember the password. I genuinely can't remember the password for my Epic account. Brilliant. One sec. Let me see if I can pull it up. There. Yep. I think it's that one that I need. Hey, Missing Go. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. I think I just logged in. Oh, why do you need a security code? Okay. Quickly opening the security code. Two-factor authentication. It is amazing. It is good. It's just very unpleasant. Yeah, email is going to be my... Yes, that's fine. Okay, the Epic Games Launcher needs to update. So while that updates, how about we move on? We go on to the next step. That seems like a wise idea. How you doing, Missing Go, by the way? I hope you're doing well. So we will be looking at the game or the display capture in just a moment. Ah, nice, Elmo. That is awesome. I really like this game. I really like Repo. We're going to go to the Just Chatting scene. Now, we've already added a lot of the things. So for the Just Chatting scene, we go for a video device. We choose our video device. And there is our video device. Now we can, of course, resize this a little bit, make myself a little bit bigger, keep like the headspace nice and small, and then we can also add the not display capture, delete layer. We are going to add the media source. Really? Okay, we'll just drag it in then if you're gonna make it difficult for us. And now we can shrink that so that we have a tiny little screen here in the bottom. I always like having that so you guys can see that we are playing a certain game. And just a little bit smaller. There we go. So that video is going to start playing. And that is the exact same video that is playing on the other side as well, by the way. This is the same thing. What would you say are the pros and cons of using display capture versus game capture? Game capture tends to be optimized, Priestify, for games. So when they capture it, they try and make it as optimized as possible for that specific application. For your display capture, it uses a little bit more resources. But I believe that's only between 3 and 5%, so I don't know how useful that is going to be to keep in mind. I really don't. It's such a small bit, and as long as you don't try to send massive amounts of frames, you should be okay. Got a fix my OBS plugin folder. You've like 3 nested folders that just say OBS plugin, and each one has a... Oh, juice. Then you might also notice that your plugins don't always work. But yeah, we've now added this. Now the only thing we still want to add is the alerts box. But we could just go over to the game scene, right-click the browser source, copy, go to the just chatting scene, paste, and we can put the alerts down here, and maybe a little bit smaller, and now they are also here. So we've just set up our just chatting scene, and we've also set up our gaming scene. And if you switch between them, you can see that the gaming and the just chatting scene are doing exactly what we expect them to do. They even resize. Right? You can see that they are resizing, and that we don't need anything else in the form of transitions. However, because we are going to move on to an advanced version of this in just a little bit, so this would be my setup. I'm going to make a quick second scene, which I will call Just Chatting Senpai, for no reason whatsoever. You guys will see in a little bit. I'm going to take the media source. We're just going to copy that and paste that in. And we are going to make that nice and big. That is our video. And what we're going to do to the video is we're actually going to add an effect. We are going to add a... Nope. No, it's not an effect. It might be a preset. I want to add a blur. And I can't remember how we do that. So that is something to figure out together. I just remember that you could add a blur really easily. Thermal TV. Black and white. No, I don't see a blur immediately. Maybe it is an effect? Yes, it is an effect. There we go. Now we just have to find it. Gaussian blur. We'll take the Gaussian blur and we'll apply a little bit more blurriness to that. Yeah, it like frosted glass blurry. And then what we're going to do for the camera is also just copy paste. And we'll paste that in and we will crop it. And we're going to crop this quite heavily. So first off, let's resize it so it's back to full screen. We'll flip the horizontal And then we are just gonna massively crop it. So you just have sort of my head and part of the... Yeah, that's fine. I want a box there and then move the whole thing up. And we are also going in here. We're going to make the Gaussian blur a little bit more extreme. And I'm going to add a quick color correction with, or actually brightness contrast. Just going to add a little bit of contrast and remove a little bit of brightness from the background. So the reason that I wanted this to be set up will become very clear in a little bit. But you guys may have seen a video that was very much comparing Meld and OBS. And for that, we are going to need this scene. Because now when I switch to our gaming scene, you will see that the camera shrinks over. Now, that is something that we do want. Don't get me wrong. But when we go over to OBS and when we get to our second test, which is advanced transitions, we are going to see that Meld might have a bit of a problem, which was not highlighted earlier. So, for now, we are going to switch over because this is done, right? In 20 minutes at most, we have set up a stream that could go live today. Perfect. Gaming scene, just chatting scene. Maybe you want to add like a starting soon screen or be right back or something like that. That's fine. You can do that. Spend 20 minutes more on it. Now we're going to go to OBS. And to look at OBS, we are first going to have to... Baz! Thank you so much for the follow, you absolute legend. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing amazing. So we're going to open OBS. And I'm going to pretend this is the first time I started this up. It's not. As you can see, there are quite a few scenes. Oh, wait. No, I made a boo-boo. I made a boo-boo. We're going to re-extract OBS here. Because I need it in portable mode. We're going to take all this, drag it right in. You really like my YouTube videos. That is awesome to hear. Thank you very much. And what we are going to do, right, we are going to add a text file here. And what this text file does is it will make OBS think that there is no other OBS. There exists no other OBS on the system. All you have to do literally is write portable_mode and you're done. Then we're going to boot it up and you will see that it boots up as if it's a completely clean install. See? Even comes in with the auto configuration wizard. Now, what we're going to do here is I'm going to optimize for streaming. 1920. I'm going to say it has to be 60 FPS. And we are going to connect an account. And the account that I'm going to connect is my alt account. And the reason for that is because we are going to be streaming to it in a little bit. So I'm just going to move that over here. And I'm going to put that in there. This is just a throwaway account, really, which I use for demonstration purposes. Funny enough, people decided to follow it the last time that I was here. Still not entirely sure why. No. Was this not your password? It was your password. Then why did you say no at first? No, we're going to need that in a little bit. I won't have this screen. Sorry, again, asking me for two-factor authentication. So I'm just going to go ahead and drop that in. Yes, that is the correct one. Okay, we are now logged in, which means all we have to do here to be able to stream in just a moment is say, please check my hardware. Does it automatically. We don't have to think about it. And this just takes a minute. Epic is still updating, by the way. You guys can see that as well. If I remove the TTS, look, it has a little green bar on it. I'm letting it update as we speak, and we will test that out in a moment. I need to get a game on Epic. What? Do I have anything already installed? No. You know what? I've just realized that I do not use Epic at all. Like, in the slightest. Okay, we're just gonna leave that to update, and we're fine. We're gonna do it, Swordfish. It just takes a moment. We're gonna do it. Absolutely. So here we have a look. Services Twitch. It tells the server that we're gonna be using and everything else. Apply. And here we get the stream information and the Twitch chat immediately for these channels. Just set up. We're done. Nothing needs to be done over here anymore. So, now what we're going to do is we're going to mute these immediately. And we are going to set the same thing up in OBS. However, we will very quickly run into some issues. So, the first thing we're going to do is turn this into a vertical layout. Yeah, please put your audio into a vertical layout. It makes life so much better for everyone. But let's set up our gaming scene. Just like we did before, we are going to use the exact same video as if it was our game. So we're just going to fit that to screen. And I'm going to change one thing, and that is restart playback is going to be turned off, and loop is going to go on. And now we'll just play there. Andy Lippy! Holy shit, Andy! How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for the raid. Hey, TD, how are you doing? I hope you're doing amazing. I hope you're doing absolutely wonderful. How was the stream? Tell me all about it. Guys, today we are having a lot of fun because we are jumping in between OBS, which I've just booted up for the first time, and Meld, in which I made a streaming setup in less than 5 or let's say 10 minutes. And we're just going to be doing tests between them. So right now we're setting it up for OBS in the simplest way possible. Gaming scene, just chatting scene. That is all we want, really. And Timo Ted, thank you so much for the follow. The second test we are going to do is a little bit of transition testing. Then we're going to test how well Streamer.Bot works between OBS and Meld. And then lastly, we are going to check the hardware requirements, like what costs more resources. Elmo MacD, thank you so much for the follow as well. We are going to jump on with this. So we've just added our game. It's a video, but we're going to say game. Lightling, thank you so much for the follow as well. Thank you very, very much. And then Stefan Tower, thank you so much for the follow as well. Iron Kill, thank you so much for the follow. Very kind of you guys. Very, very kind. Follows are still plinging, is that right? Yeah, they should be plinging every time one comes in. Or are we hearing both? Like both of them? I do, Timo Ted. Yeah, under the same name, Content Delta. Yeah, absolutely, TD. Go do your thing. Go do your thing. Absolutely understandable. Is Meld better than OBS? Is Renee is asking over on YouTube. And I'm going to say, maybe. Maybe. That's what we're testing. Yeah. We're not 100% sure at this point. So we're like, okay, is it better or isn't it? That's what we're hoping to figure out today. So let's see if that works. Hey, Armchair, how are you doing? How are you doing? Running NVIDIA broadcast through OBS as your PC crying. I wonder if Meld would help. I don't think so. That's your NVIDIA broadcast. Yeah, it is a very high requirement thing. That is a very high requirement thing. For noobs, yes. For super advanced overlays, no. You know what? That is one thing I will say. Meld has made it really easy to start with. But there are some issues that we will be talking about later, which I know pretty much every single other creator has brought up, which I feel I have to bring up as well, that have nothing to do with the software itself. Hey, Life Producer, how are you doing? I think the question isn't OBS versus Meld, it's usability and UI. Yes and no. For me, see, one of the things that really concerns me with Meld versus OBS, okay, I'm gonna bring it up now. We'll talk about it again later. OBS is open source, which means anybody can see the source code, anybody can make plugins, and if something doesn't exist, you can pay someone or do it yourself and make plugins for your OBS. Can't do that with Meld. It's a closed environment. You can't do anything unless it's built in. And that is something that worries me. That is something that worries me purely based on... Really purely based on the availability and versatility of the program. OBS feels like 300 chefs are trying to make one soup. It's probably because over the years that there have been a lot of people. Yeah, no, you're kind of right. And that's also why when you look at the base functionality of OBS, even the updated overlay that we got with OBS 30 is not a massive update. Because everything has to stay somewhat similar from the start. You're concerned with the hardware requirements as you're running a Win 10 on an older PC. We are going to check the hardware requirements later, Jack. Absolutely. And Renee Ban, thank you so much over on YouTube. Much appreciated. Yeah, I do my best. I always try to help people, both live and in the video. So I appreciate your comment there. Thank you very much. Meld is the Apple of the broadcast software. You know what? I think that is a brilliant way of saying it. I think that is amazing, KNO, because Meld is the Apple, where OBS is the... You know what? OBS is the Linux. OBS is the Linux. I'm a Windows user myself. Don't get me wrong. But Streamlabs OBS is probably... Or Streamlabs is probably the Windows. As hard as that is to say for somebody who is just a basic Windows user, yeah, that's probably it. It's bloated. You don't want it on your PC, but what else are you gonna use? Streamlabs is Windows 8. That is not wrong. No, exactly. Or even yeah, no, I would say Windows 8. Out of date, filled with bloatware, and it sucks. Yeah. Hey, Sweetest Spitfire, how are you doing? I can't believe that Meld would stay free. Seems like too much of a risk if one wants to keep costs down. Stefan, we are going to have a little bit of a look at that in a second. But yeah, that is one of my massive concerns with Meld. Look, very simple, and we will get back to the testing, but now we're talking about it anyway. Hey, Mr. Darkhawk, how you doing? I think Meld over time would start entering a subscription business profile. Yeah, okay. We're gonna address it. We're gonna address it because I think it's important, right? Let me just open a browser and we go to OBS project. This is the OBS project. It is an open source software, and you can immediately see here when you scroll down that they are sponsors. They are sponsored by YouTube, Logitech, Twitch, Nvidia. You can see exactly which people pay them money. Donnie, how are you doing? Thank you very much. That is very, very kind. And yeah, Timoted, you are right. I am Dutch originally. I've lived in Denmark. I've lived in the UK, both England and Wales, and I'm currently living in Belgium. Yeah. So you can see exactly here, OBS gets paid by these people to make their software. That's it. That is what this means. Yeah, they're sponsored by Stream Elements. They're sponsored by Stream Elements. They're sponsored by Overwolf, apparently. Qualcomm is one that surprises me. The rest I understand, right? Everything else I understand. Qualcomm? A little bit odd. They do a lot of like server stuff and like internet connections, Snapdragons, a lot of cryptography as well, which is quite funny. OBS may be complicated, but would you choose to pay for slightly easier software? Well, that's the thing, right? If we go to Meld, let me just Google. Let me Google that for us. Look, if we look at Meld, there is just no way to get out of this. There is nothing we can do here except hope for the best. Because there is just no way that they are showing that they can do their sponsorships without, or that they can make their product like Meld Studio without getting paid for it. And they don't have a sponsor. They are closed. They say there's no watermarks, 100% free, no limits. If they are a company, that cannot stay that way. And I want to continue talking about this, but my dog really needs to go out. So I'll be back in just 1 sec, guys. There we go. Sorry about that. So yeah, for me, I'm looking at this and I'm looking at Meld as a product, and one of my biggest problem is one of two things. Well, it's one thing. Where do they get their money from? Like, there's no way to figure out if they're getting investment, if this is a passion project, if this is really how they are able to pay for any of it. Any of it. There's just nothing. And that worries me, because now we don't know what the future is going to be of this. Hey, Iqbal, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. So the only thing, I mean, just this, right? Just this is crazy. They have recently started a sponsorship, or like they work together, Meld and Harris Heller. Harris Heller, with his team, has designed 2 widgets. And my question is, how do you get these big content creators in if you don't have money to burn? And I'm really worried. I don't know what's going to happen. I think we are either going to see a freemium service where you can do basic streams for free, but everything else is going to cost money, or we're going to end up in a situation where we are going to get like a Streamlabs Ultra style thing. And at that point, it doesn't matter how many people they've converted. The moment that they start asking money for it, people are going to fight back. People are going to push back because they don't want to deal with that. While with OBS, we know where the money comes from. It's donations. It's sponsors. Which is indeed why OBS has such a good way of progressing. Offer them a stake in the business, but now you're beholden to somebody who wants to make money off your project, Frosty. That's the problem. Right? They can offer Harris Heller or anybody. They could offer Andy, me, Harris Heller 10% of the company. But if that company doesn't make money, then that 10% is never going to be worth anything. Now, there is one other option. There is one other option that Meld can do, and that is the one I am most worried about. Because Meld can choose to make the streamers the customer. Meld can insert ads into their software that get pushed out through your stream. Meld can harvest your videos and sell them to game companies. All that sort of stuff can be absolutely devastating for the creator economy. You do not want, as a streamer, to be made the product. Exactly. If something is free to you, then you are the product. Why do you think Google can offer you Google Drive for free and Gmail for free and Google for free? Because you're the product. They want to learn from you and then sell ads based on your preferences. So they can show, look, we have a conversion rate of 5%, while TV has a conversion rate of 1, maybe 1.5%. So they just show that there's way more there for businesses to get, and now businesses pay from one end, and you are the product. And that is what I'm worried about. That is the worst case scenario, by the way, for Meld. I can tell you right now, if that would happen, I would be absolutely gutted. Absolutely gutted. And I would abandon it immediately. And yes, if I notice this happening, I will let you guys know, of course. I don't know if it is. It's just an option. But those are really the only options. Subscriptions, freemium, so you get like a free tier, but premium plugins, premium upgrades you pay for. Or we're gonna see a product where Meld, where you as a streamer are the product. Which could be worse. Could definitely be worse. Okay. However, we were making stuff right now in OBS. We're going to continue. Jack Dragon, thank you so much for the follow, you absolute legend. As I said, we have made it all in Meld. We have a gaming scene, a just chatting scene, and this just chatting scene, which some of you might recognize from another creator who we've just mentioned, who, you know, wanted this to do something specific, and I'll show you guys what in a little bit. So we are going to go and add two things to the gaming scene here. We need a camera, and we need a camera, and we need alerts. So let's go do that. First off, we are going to add the camera, and that works the same way. Video capture device. I'll just call it video capture device. Set it to the camera, and there I am. Right? Done. Now, the thing is, we can absolutely crop ourselves and get somewhat the same look as we do on Meld, but there is an issue. The corners here will never look the same. They cannot be rounded without any external work. Either you go into your filters and you create a simple mask. Where is it? I haven't used this. There, image mask. In a different program, and you overlay that on your camera. That is option 1. Option 2 is going to require our first plugin. So we're going to shut it down. We're going to grab the Advanced Masks plugin, which I've already downloaded for free because I don't use paid plugins. And we are going to drag this straight into your folder so that it sort of overrides your OBS plugins and data folder. And then we are going to boot it up again. That's it. We're just going to boot it up again. Hey, Chicken Nuggy, how are you doing? Now, I'm going to go ahead and take all that away again, all the changes that we made. Gonna right click, and we're gonna go to the filters, and this time, KNO, thank you so much for the follow, you absolute legend. That's very kind of you. Thank you. We're gonna add an advanced mask. Now, the advanced mask is, as the name says, far more advanced. So what we can do is we can choose shape, rectangle, and then we can actually choose how wide and high we want our camera to be. I like it there, which is great. Now we've obtained the same thing as we just had, but when we scroll down, we can grab the corner radius and just make it rounded. By the way, if anybody's wondering, this is exactly how I do it for any design that I make. I always use advanced masks and rarely see any problems with it. If you feel like the mask is a little bit untight, there's too much that can be seen, you can also zoom in a little bit or zoom out a little bit, up to you. The advanced mask can do way more. It can do shapes, simple polygons. It can even match a source. So, for example, if I wanted to make myself into a Windows blue screen, then I could grab a Windows blue screen, mask myself like the camera, cut out like this, over it, put it in front of me, and when that then activates, you can only see my outline even if I move. It's quite a cool plugin. Definitely go check it out. And then we can just shrink that into position here. Now, we see the exact same problem as we had before. When I'm facing sort of the PC I'm working on, I'm looking outside of the screen. I'm looking to where these the things are not happening. So I'm just also here going to go to transform and flip horizontal so that I'm looking into the screen, which I do prefer. Quick Control D to center it and Shift right to put it all the way over here. And that is also done. Now we need to add the alerts, and we're going to do that in the exact same way as we've done before. We are going to go ahead and grab the browser source URL, add browser, and we're going to paste that in. We're going to make this 800 by 600 control audio via OBS. Press OK. Make sure that that is closed down, and now the alerts work for Twitch as well on this platform. So now we have both OBS and Meld, the gaming scene, set up the exact same way. So we are then going to make our just chatting scene. And again, we're going to make two of them. The first just chatting scene, we are going to set up very simply. Very, very simply. What would be the best case scenario? Sorry, Renee, I missed that message there. The best case scenario for Meld's monetization would probably be the double, like, freemium. Free version with premium features where you pay. Yeah, anything else, if they go full-on subscription, people are going to drop them. And if they go the harvesting data, well, that is going to not drop a lot of people, but it's going to be very damaging in the long run. Hey, Midnight Carnage, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing absolutely amazing. Okay, for the just chatting scene, the first thing we're going to do is we are going to add our camera. But this is where we run into the second issue. If I grab the video capture device that we've already added, you can see the advanced mask stays on. That's because filters are bound to sources. So if I want a full screen camera, I cannot do that with the same source, which is okay. We're going to remove that one. We're going to close this one down. And we're going to grab plugin number 2. And plugin number 2 is Source Clone. This is another just incredible plugin. What this allows you to do is it allows you to clone sources in OBS. And when you clone a source, you don't take over all the different filters. So we are going to add a third scene. And the third scene, if it would stop zooming in, thank you, is going to be main camera. Main camera. Camera. There we go. And for the main camera, we are going to add the video capture device that we've already added. However, I am going to take this filter, I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to remove it. This way, what I can do here for the just chatting is just take the scene, the main camera scene, and put it in here. That's it. However, on the gaming scene, I am now going to have to change my video capture device. I'm going to remove it. And we are going to add a source clone. And for the source clone, we are going to call this main camera clone. We're going to choose a source, and we're going to choose the main camera source. What this does is that now we can actually add the filter back. Of course, paste doesn't work if you delete it. You can add the filter back. And we'll see in just a moment, once I have this all... No, don't zoom. We have this all set up. Let's flip this quickly. Shrinky, shrinky. There we go. We're back to where we were. You'll see that when we now switch scenes, on the just chatting scene, despite us using the exact same source, it hasn't copied the filters. Which means that we now have a just chatting scene, which has our camera. We just need to add, well, really, we want to add this video again as a small screen, but right now we're not going to do that. It doesn't really matter. We are then going to copy this one. We're going to push that over here and paste that as a reference so that now we also have the Twitch alerts on this screen. As a final thing, right? As a final thing, what we are going to do is I'm actually going to make a game scene. And for the, let's call this game input, right? And instead of having the video over here or the game over here, we're going to copy the game. We're going to paste that in here. And then we're going to remove the video, the original here. And we are going to add a scene, game input, and we're going to put that at the back. What this will allow us to do in the just chatting scene is we can again create a source clone, which we will call game input clone. Source. And we'll choose the game input. And now we have another one that we can put a little, just a little advanced mask on. Make it full size so it's 1920 by 1080. Scroll down. Give it a little corner radius. Resize it. And now we have that as well. Just ready to go. Of course, right now it's not showing the right thing because it's not far enough in it. But there we go. You can actually see exactly how this works here as well. Thank you so much, KNO. Guys, if you do have any questions, we have a TTS queue. You can just add to that immediately by redeeming. It's 100 points or something, and I will answer your questions over on Twitch. If you're on YouTube, just dump them in chat, and I will make sure to have a look at them. You've been using Meld? Me too. Yeah, we're testing both right now. I've literally got the same setup on both sides. The only thing that we still need to make is this just chatting senpai scene. So let's do that as well. For that, I'm just going to do the exact same thing. Just chatting senpai. And we're once again going to do... Let's do 2 more source clones. Why not? We'll do main camera senpai clone. And we will put that to main camera. Again, the reason I want that is because I want to be able to shrink this just like we did on the other side. And then we are going to add another source clone. And this is going to be game input senpai clone. And And again, we are just going to put the game input in there. Going to move that to the back. And just like we did before, we want to add a blur to this. However, we cannot do that without a plugin. Well, we can use NVIDIA's blur filter, right? If you have that one. But that one tends to be quite heavy. Like, that is quite, it's quite a heavy way to blur things. So instead, we can get the blur plugin. Which I actually don't know if I downloaded. Let's have a look. Blur plugin, OBS. Composite blur plugin, yes please. Download. By the way, another one of finite singularities. Brilliant, brilliant plugin maker. Just like Exceldro. Probably the people whose plugins I use the most. Exceldro and finite singularity. So we're going to close again. Going to drag this plugin in. And we are going to open that. There we go. Give this an advanced composite blur. Set that blur from Gaussian to dual quasi. And a little bit of blur in there. And we are done. That's it. Now we have the exact same setups. However, this setup took a remarkable amount longer. A whole, I would say, instead of 10 minutes to set this all up, we've set this up in about 30. But at this point, we are at the exact same place except for one thing. When we switch between the gaming scene and the just chatting scene, it just sort of fades. Right? It just sort of fades. And if we go to Meld, we have this really nice, things are moving. Things are shifting in position. And if you have the same source, they just resize, which is honestly, probably, it just looks good, right? It looks a lot better than the fade. But luckily, we can do the exact same in OBS. So, the only thing is, once again, we are going to need a plugin. The Move plugin used to be called the Move Transition plugin. Let's grab that. Let's put that in as well. Look at that. Now we go to the scene transition right here. Add. And we add a Move transition. Ash, thank you for making me save. Thank you very much. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think we need to do anything more. If we switch, it works in the exact same way. Maybe we give it a little bit more duration, but this is the exact same transition, which, I'm just gonna say it, I know somebody claimed that they worked 4 hours to get this transition, and I'm not entirely sure why, because that is a fairly simple transition. However, what you can do with Move is so much more. So the reason I'm saying 4 hours, this is a claim that was made by Harris Heller in his video on Meld. And I cannot disagree more. Literally getting the transition set up took me 2 minutes. However, what he showed was a much more, I'm gonna say, a much more advanced version of this transition, where when he went from his gaming scene to his just chatting scene, the scenes would fade into each other. And the camera that you're looking at right now would shift down, and then you would have this camera coming down from the top. And the way that he hacked that together is by going in, right, and copying this source, the main camera source, and pasting it into this one, and then moving this down. And then he did the exact same thing with this one, with this camera. He just pasted it into his other, into the other one, into his gaming scene. Paste reference. Oh, I didn't copy it, apparently. I don't need 2 of those. I need the Senpai clone, please. Copy. Paste reference. And you just slide that up. Now, if my brain works correctly, which usually it does, if we switch to the Just Chatting Senpai scene now, it just slides. I can tell you guys right now, that took me about 5 minutes to fix, not 4 hours. Renee Baan, you can just download it from the OBS official website, all the plugins. If you're looking for the plugin specifically, let me just send you in chat. So we are using the Move plugin. We are using Advanced Mask. And we are using Source Clone. Those are the ones you want to look for. I can add the links to the description on YouTube once the stream is over as well. Pixel Pioneer, how are you doing? How are you doing? Yeah, but Ash, you're saying the 80-20 rule. But this is now done. Right? This is specifically how Harris wanted this to work. Exactly like this. Now, the problem is... Hello? You guys hear that noise? That's my Meld crashing. One moment. I'm gonna reboot Meld. Did I miss setting up green screen effect in Meld? No, I haven't. I haven't even gone over setting up a green screen effect in Meld. So, the problem is that this works in the exact... It doesn't work. Like, he said that this would do the exact same thing out of the box, and it just doesn't. So, what's the solution here? How are we gonna solve that in Meld? Well, in the exact same way. You copy this one, you go to your gaming scene, you paste it into the gaming scene, and you roll it off screen. We do the same thing. We copy this one, we go down to the Just Chatting scene, we paste it in, and we roll it off screen. And hopefully, if all goes well... Oh no, everything breaks. That actually doesn't work on Meld. I had expected Meld to have figured that one out. Interesting. Oh, but that makes things interesting. So how would we do this on Meld? Honestly, Renee, it is my pleasure. And yes, we are comparing Meld Studio, which is what you're looking at right now, behind me. And we are comparing that with OBS to see which one performs better. So we're going to have to find a different solution. And I'm wondering if we can do something with the internal... align, we can flip. Where are Meld's transitions? The preferences, the plugins, transition, move, easing curve, in out cubic. Yeah, that is fairly normal. Layer reordering, that's also fine. They don't seem to have that option. So that would mean, right, I'm gonna have to rename this one to Facecam Gaming, and take this one and rename it. Maybe this works to Facecam Just Chatting. If I now copy this into the gaming scene, because now they're not named the same. So maybe it won't have that clash. Hey, Rez, how you doing? I'm multi-streaming, so I'm both on YouTube and on Twitch right now. Because I wanted to be able to show both what the sort of benefits could be. But honestly, you have to do the exact same solution in Meld to get it to slide in and out like that. It's the exact same solution, and it took the exact same amount of minutes. So you're not going to save anything in that regard. Which I find a little bit misinformation-y, in all honesty. But yeah, so I would say, if we are looking at the basic setup, right? That's what we've been looking at so far. In the basic setup, Meld definitely gets the point. Meld is easier to set up. You don't have to mess around with plugins, and you can just start streaming. It just makes life easy. However, the moment that you start going into deeper work, such as the advanced transition that we've now built, you are going to do the exact same work as you do in OBS. And this time, you don't have the plugins to help you with it, which is not great. Which is really not great. I also feel like OBS can do more things. So, for example, what I can do here in my gaming scene is I could just go into the filters and add a, where is it? Shadow. I haven't added the shadows yet. Let's add those as well. Yeah, let's add those to OBS as well. Stroke, glow, shadow. One more plugin. That is honestly, if they ever choose to rename OBS from Open Broadcasting Software, it has to be one more plugin. It has to be OMP. One more plugin, because you always need one more plugin. I feel that, like, I realized yesterday that I am using 32 plugins on my main OBS, which surprised me a little bit. Let's give this a quick shadow filter. That just adds this tiny refined drop shadow underneath, right? Nice, simple drop shadow that just gives it a little bit of elegance. You don't need to do more than that. In Meld, you can do the exact same thing. Go into your effects, add. Is there a shadow? Actually, don't know. I haven't checked. Gradient, yes. Fill, yes. Drop shadow. There you go. You can add a drop shadow to this as well. Maybe add a little bit of softness. Okay, or not. Add a little bit of softness. A bit more distance so we can see it. You have a nice little drop shadow as well. So for me, like, up until now, Meld has the point. When we are getting to advanced transitions, when we're looking at advanced functions, OBS is 100% going to have it. 100% going to have it. I guess it might get plugins in the future if Meld is new. You say that, Dero, but that is not a possibility. No, that is not a possibility, and I'll tell you right now why. Meld is not open source. OBS is open source. It's called Open Broadcasting Software. Everybody can see the source code and make plugins to make it more awesome. But Meld is closed. It can only be edited at the moment by accredited or approved people. Which means, yes, they might make it open to modding, but they might also make it so that people then have to pay to use your mods. Which, you know, not great in all honesty. I think the main arguments are setting up. Yes, it might take a bit longer to set up in OBS and need plugins, but once it's set up, you're done. You know where you are with the future of OBS is something missing. Someone will make it. And yeah, especially if you have like the popular plugins from Finite Singularity or by Exceldro, those are going to get updated really, really, really quick. While something like Meld might update without letting anyone know and then just go, what do I do now? Yeah, well, you can't do anything. The amount of time I needed to update plugins in OBS, though, as in to update them or to know when you need to update them. No, this is very much for me. I'm gonna say, if you are already settled in on OBS, you're not gonna change. You're not gonna switch over to Meld. Really. Realistically, you're not gonna go over. However, if you are completely new to streaming and you have no idea what you're doing, then the question becomes, is Meld just the new Streamlabs? You know, where people went and did the starting. Everybody started on Streamlabs, right? And then once it became too much, people just went, no, we're going to go to OBS now. Is Meld going to become the same thing? Because at that point, I'm going to continue suggesting that people just use OBS. But so far, in this particular test, it's Meld 1, OBS, or sorry, Meld 2, OBS 1. Because I'm going to say that the setup time, definitely quicker on Meld. And for the advanced transitions, the advanced functionality, OBS is just so much better. And that is one of the next steps that I do want to bring up. Because there is something that we have not talked about. And actually, no, we have talked about it, but now it becomes relevant again. Who are the sponsors of OBS? YouTube and Twitch. Who do you think is going to get the chance to develop their software with the leading recording and streaming platforms out there, which we now see in things like enhanced broadcasting? That's going to be OBS. So while OBS can add features because they work directly with people like Twitch and YouTube, you do not get those features if you're on Meld, or at least a lot later. A question over, or Slasher Tasher is saying, see, I took the hard way and started with OBS to split audio because you actually never thought of using desktop audio. I also did the same. Yeah, I started out, and I remember this very, very well. Many of you may have done as well. And if you don't know, this might actually be a good start. VB Audio. VB Audio are the people that make Voice Meter. But they also give free virtual audio cables. Or they're like, I think you can get one for free and two is like $5. And you can send your audio to that to split your audio at that point. But at this point, there are better options. Things like SteelSeries Sonar and Elgato Wave 2. They are much easier to use. Does Meld have multi-streaming? Is it free to multi-stream with Meld instead of the £20 a month to use slobs? Yes. Meld has Meld will have or has already got multi-streaming? Go to streaming settings. Yes. Twitch, YouTube, and custom. Yeah, 100%. Last time I checked this, by the way, last time I reviewed them, they didn't have this yet, but advertised it, which was a bit weird. Meld is the new Polypop 3D. It's new and shiny and does something easy, but how long will it be around? You know what? I feel like Polypop had more functionality than this does. Because Polypop actually gave you 3D effects which were physics interactable. I'm quickly coming back though, right? Pixel Pioneer. Why would you use multi-streaming in Meld or Slobs if you can also multi-stream for free in OBS using either Atom Vertical, the RTMP plugin, or, of course, Stream Elements Live? Yeah, it's a plugin away. That's my point. That's my whole point with OBS. Everything is a plugin away. Everything. It is a plugin away, and most of the stuff already exists. Hey, Panda Chess, thank you very much. You just do... Yeah, you can. You can, Dero. You're 100% right. You can just multi-stream with the Stream Elements plugin. Ash is saying, would you compare it to things like Streamer.Bot and other mainstream bots? Yes, until the new Streamer.Bot update. I would agree. I think most people are just not aware how many of these cool plugins exist. I'm gonna have to make a new plugin video, aren't I? Because I can already, like, just off the top of my head, right? Just off the top of my head. Move. Advanced Mask. Stroke Glow Shadow. Source Clone. SE Live. What else? What else do I use? Tuna. Tuna is fun, by the way. Tuna is really fun. What else do we have? We have JR Docky. We have the Windows, a plugin that allows you to dock anything in OBS, which is quite cool. What else do we have? Gradient plugins, shader filter, composite blur. There are so many plugins that I can name that I use every single day. Sounds too much like it because it's spelled tuna. Yeah, it's spelled exactly the same, Dero, like the fish. And it allows you to show people on stream what you're currently listening to. I, of course, decided to code my own thing, which you can access on Twitch with exclamation point music, and you'll see what happens. But yes, Streamer.Bot is quite blank. It lets you do so much. Yeah. So over on, let me just, yeah, there it comes. There it is. That's the song we're listening to right now. You can see how long it keeps going. Everything is in there. Although it seems like it has not been able to connect again. I'm still trying to figure this one out. Because it has difficulty connecting to Spotify sometimes. Connecting? Connected? Yes, we are connected. Great success. Will this VOD be up on YouTube channel after? Absolutely, Takalaka. That's why I'm streaming to YouTube right now. So, for those that don't know, normally I stream every Tuesday and Friday on Twitch. But there we usually have, like, we do a little coding, we do a little gaming, and then I do special occasion streams to YouTube as well. But we are live on Twitch every Tuesday, every Friday, 5 p.m. till 11 p.m. on the Content Delta channel. Yes, indeed. Advanced Scene Switcher is a great plugin too. True. Absolutely true. I genuinely really like that one as well. I've not used it for a while because I've just gone with a single, like, switcher at this point. But, I might give that one a try again. It's been a while. It's been a while. So, test number 3. And I think for many people, this is a huge test. Hey, Finite Singularity, how you doing? Thank you so much for the follow, you absolute legend. We were just talking about you. Well, your plugins, but indirectly also about you. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing absolutely amazing. Just put Spotify and hide everything that's not the song name. Couldn't find anything that you can just use YouTube. Yeah, no. Tuna. The Tuna plugin, you can add it into your OBS. And you can get all that information out. Which plugin is causing issues? None. None at all. No. No issues. Only praises. Yeah. So what we're doing today, Finite Singularity, I'll just quickly explain is, as you can see, we are currently on Meld Studio. So we've been building sort of a basic streaming setup in Meld Studio. And we just wanted to show that you can actually do it immediately without issues for free in OBS's... What the hell? Oh, I was showing something. Holy shit. That scared the ever-living crap out of me. Yep, okay. That's fine. Don't ignore the big green guy. Yeah, ignore the big green guy. Anyway, yeah, I was showing that you can do the exact same things in OBS if you just add some plugins. And that's where your Stroke Glow Shadow plugin came up. And also where we were talking about like the Advanced Mask plugin. As you can see, we have the nice rounded corners. Which, by the way, may I just say, probably my favorite plugin out there. But because that started to work before you brought out Advanced Mask, I was meticulously drawing them in Affinity Designer in the hopes to make things look good, and it never did. But if you listen to the Meld folks, plugins are bad. Okay. Okay. You know what's bad? You know what's really, really bad? When you don't have a monetization strategy. And therefore, anybody that's going to use your software right now doesn't know if they can in 6 months and if their data is safe. That's bad. Plugins? A lot less bad in my opinion. Glad you're enjoying Advanced Boss. Probably is your most useful. Yeah, for me it really is. It just makes everything easy. Honestly. What's the minimum PC specs for Meld? Ooh. That is a good question. I actually do not know that. Because I was just gonna test it, right? They must say it somewhere. Docs, maybe? Let's see. Install. Live streaming, multi-streaming, record, visual effects. Yep. Yes, Meld Studio is free to use broadcasting software. Great. Download. You don't need to sign up anymore. Effects. Okay. Yeah, but what do I... What are the minimum requirements? What does the advanced scene switcher do? So what the advanced scene switcher does is, you know how you can set up a scene transition so that whenever you move your scene, right? You go to another scene, it makes a specific, it does a move like this. One of the things that advanced scene transition, the advanced scene switcher can do, and this is probably their most basic feature, is for every scene, you can now define a specific thing to happen. And much more advanced than you can in OBS. So in OBS, you can set a general one down here in your scene transitions. That's one transition that every single one will use. However, you can also go in, right-click, and then transition override for one specific one. The problem is now, if we, for example, set this to fade, whenever we move to it, we fade. Whenever we move away from it, it just does the regular transition. What the advanced scene switcher allows you to do, it allows you to set a specific transition for every single scene. So you can go from gaming scene to just chatting, then you want to fade. Oh, but from just chatting to the gaming scene, you want to move. And from the gaming scene to your starting soon screen or your just ending screen, you just want it to cut. And you can set that very granularly for every single thing, which can be very, very nice. And that is sort of the minimum. Oh, that is straight from Can I Run It? Okay, thank you, Pixel Pioneer. So, the minimum specs, according to Can I Run It, are 4 gigabytes of memory, an NVIDIA GeForce 205. Are we sure about that? A GeForce 205? I don't think that can be right. That would not even run freaking, well, Minesweeper at this point. Literally, with those things, you could not boot your Windows. I will do my best, Sun Zero. Yeah, it's going... You know what? I'm actually going to find a pen and make a note of this, because I am so forgetful. I'm so forgetful. Actually, Ash, could you put that in the to-do list for me, please? If you're here. Otherwise, I can do it. That's no problem. Yeah, I think they went, what is the lowest it can be? But that is probably not their suggested. Your Steam Deck won't be able to run Meld? Probably not, no. And the wait time at the bottom, that is for the TTS. So whenever somebody uses TTS, it goes into the queue, which is on the other side, right? And then this shows you how long you have to wait for the next one. Frosty, you can? Perfect, thank you. You run Meld on a Windows 10 GeForce 1060 i7 16GB DDR3. That seems more accurate, if I'm gonna be honest, Swordfish. Like, I would set that as a minimum and be okay with it. I'm a fountain of knowledge. Thank you, KNO. Thank you very much. Yeah, and when we're... So... For those that did come in with the raid and that aren't here regularly, we're not doing this. Next week on Tuesday, we are actually going to do something really, really cool. I just want to highlight it because we are going to be doing stream reviews where you can come in, literally you can come in and you can tell me, hey, I'm having these problems with my stream. I'm looking to grow. I'm struggling with how I need to talk to chat, blah, blah, blah. And we will actually go through the different things and we'll go through everything and give you some tips to see if that works. That will both be streamed on YouTube and Twitch again, but I will also drop the Google link, the Google Docs link, because the only thing I do ask for is that you guys sign up for it, because then I could just go down the list and see everything that's going on, because that's what we do here. I'm literally here to help you guys. That's what we do. And Dero, thank you so much for the follow over on Twitch as well. That's very, very kind of you. Thank you very much. So now that, why am I on this screen? I'm gonna go back to this screen so I'm not that big twice. That seems weird. Yeah, let's not do that. So what we're gonna do now is we're actually gonna download Streamer.Bot. Who here is not familiar with Streamer.Bot and wants to get preached at for a little bit? Because I call myself a Streamer.Bot evangelist because, you know, I am. I really, really am. Streamer.Bot is the most powerful, literally the most powerful bot that you can find on the internet for your streams. There is nothing that this bot can't do. And when I say nothing, I really mean nothing. Pixel Pioneer, thank you so much for the sub. You absolute legend. Specking, you may have heard about it before. Oh yes, welcome to the Church of Streamer.Bot. We are open 24/7. Oh my god, a DC Laser? Do I say that right? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing amazing. Okay, the reason I harp on about Streamer.Bot so much is I'm going to download it and I'm going to show you guys. So what we do, all we need to do is just drag Streamer.Bot over, right? And Crab Mosh, thank you so much for the follow as well. Quick folder for Streamer.Bot. Drag this, no, stop. Drag this in and boot it up. That's all we need to do. And there we have Streamer.Bot. Have you ever considered coloring your beard? Actually, did you see the big green guy just now? Yeah, I have my 4-year streamiversary over on my partner channel on the next weekend, Mathman EU, if anybody wants to come hang out. And I will be dressed up as Beetle Math. So I'm gonna dye my beard bright green and I'll be in a Beetlejuice suit and we'll be live like 12 hours a day, 3 days in a row. So yeah, I do dye my beard for those kind of occasions. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Frosty. So, as you guys may see, Streamer.Bot looks a little rough around the edges right now. This is the current release version. This is, by the way, what it looks like in the current alpha version, which is very, very much nicer. Oh, that is awesome, Dero. That's fantastic. I showed up on your YouTube feed. That doesn't happen too often. I am very happy to hear that I did. Yeah, I find YouTube weird with its stream suggestions. But yes, so Streamer.Bot, what can it do? The alpha looks a lot better. It is a lot better. Like, I have taken it into production for this particular channel. It is really, really, really good. But the power of Streamer.Bot is, let's make an action. I'll just call it test. First off, it has huge numbers of integrations. Meld, OBS, Streamlabs, Elgato. It can go with crowd control, donor drive, fourth wall. All these things integrate into it directly. Even your Twitch. Which is... It will be a quicker list to list the things it can't do. Exactly, you're right. Because if it can't do something, right? If it can't interact with something, you can write your own C# code and it can interact with it. I've been looking into this. It can make you a cup of tea if you want to. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could code an AI clever enough to make it a cup of tea for you. Actually, I think you can get integrations, plugins for Streamer.Bot that will link up to your, what are they called? The plugs. Those smart plugs, and you can tell it to turn stuff on. So technically, yes, it could make you a cup of tea. Probably not that, but you have Speaker.Bot for that. But yeah, this can do anything. Hey, Jimmy J, how you doing? It can literally just plug into anything you want. Anything you want. It can do asymmetric or asynchronous actions. It can do... Oh, there's so much you can do with this. Kiem, thanks so much for the follow, which is why this is 100% my favorite bot to use. And yes, it does interact with Meld Studio. So what we're going to do is figure out how. First off, we're going to do it with OBS. For OBS, it's very simple. You go to your tools, WebSocket server settings, and you just sort of go enable WebSocket server. Now I'm going to drag this aside because I need to show the connect info. And then we're just going to drop the connect info right into the stream apps. What just happened? Nimue, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing amazing. And then we put in a name.
Swordfish101
We'll call this...
says, have you ever considered coloring your beard?
I have. Yes, I have considered coloring my beard. It's been pink, it's been purple, it's been green, it's been blue. It goes all colors. Just gonna put the data in. I'll drag this off because otherwise I give away a password, and we're not gonna do that. And hopefully this is going to work. Let's see. Will it connect? It will not. That means I need to change the port quickly. And then we should be good. Connect, please. Connecting. Hello? It should connect. There we go. It's connected. You can't complain, I understand. And Dero! Dero, thank you so much for the Prime sub. You absolute legend. Thank you very, very much. That's very kind of you.
NimWeHX says hello.
Hello. Okay, so we've now already connected to... what have we connected to? We have just connected to OBS. Not yet, Dero. They're in the making. They're in the making. Jimmy J, you've started with recording gameplay, but you find difficulties working with OBS. Do you know how you can record your cam and gameplay separately in 4K? So, I would, if I were you, set it up with something like Atom Vertical, so you have an extra canvas. You really can record them separately. Otherwise, what you can do is set up your OBS, right? And instead of having a normal canvas, you make a double width canvas. So you take your canvas and you make it twice as wide. And then on one side you have your game. Oops. Game. And on the other side you have your camera. That works as well. Let me see. Please tell me you have a video on this TTSQ. It's coming soon. This is something we build live on stream. I am going to write a video, and then, as with everything that I do, again, with everything that I do, I give it away. It's going to be available on the website. It's going to be available in the Discord. You can download it and implement it. No worries. This will give you more money than if I had stuff with actual money, because my currency is UAH. I don't know what that currency is. I have no idea. Yeah, it's gonna happen, Elmo. It is going to happen. I'm gonna be publishing it. You tried that, but then you've had some lag, or it isn't as smooth. But you, like, if you get more than 60 FPS, Jimmy J, you really don't need anything more than that. Ukrainian. I'm not gonna pronounce the second word because that's gonna... No, I can't even try. Rivna? No, that's not a good idea. What cool stuff can we do with Streamer.Bot? Well, you can do a lot of cool stuff. We've just connected our OBS, right? I now want to see what happens if we want to connect our Meld Studio. So we have Meld here. We have... Oh, do I just add? Okay, I'll add Studio Connection. I'm assuming we can do this in the preferences. Plugins. Advanced. Allow room. WebSocket server. Okay. So it should now be available. Do I just go Meld? Is that how this works? It is! Okay, that is fairly easy. That is actually really, really easy. Go for it, Dero. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, that is actually really easy. It's connected just as easy as OBS. But now the question is, what can we do? You missed a question on game and camera and YouTube chat, but I've been using the vertical plugin to record camera, as you can put the vertical cam to 1080 to 1082. Let me see where it is. Yeah, that's exactly how I record as well. That's exactly how I record as well. I have it separate. We have the canvas. We have the vertical canvas. Perfect. Freaking love it. Freaking love it. Yeah, it was a piece of cake to connect. The question is, what can we do with it, right? Because if we look, and we make... Oh, I just deleted the test action, didn't I? We make a test action. If we look at OBS, there's a lot we can do. We can take screenshots, tell it to start streaming. We can do stuff with groups, scenes, sources, replay buffers. Like, a lot of the stuff that I do, especially on my main channel, uses all these things extensively. I can show you the TTS queue that you guys are looking at. It uses these to show things, to shift between them. The alerts, all my alerts use Streamer.Bot, right? And they all use certain OBS features. And usually they use some form of code, but all of that interacts with OBS. Every single one of these interacts with OBS in significant ways. I am Dero. Yes, they are in the making. Now we look at Meld. We can get the current scene, get a status, change the recording and streaming state. We can force one of the scenes to show, take a screenshot, set effects to enabled, layers, okay, and tracks. Okay. So you can actually do quite a lot. Ari, thank you for the lurk. And Frozen Fusion, how are you doing? You can do quite a lot. So let's have a look-see, right? We're in the gaming scene. And let's say that we want to add a hologram filter. Okay. It just adds. Can we... It immediately adds everything required for it as well. Okay, it even makes me a little bit transparent. Kinda cool. Now let's see if I can make a button that turns that on and off. Effect. Set effect enabled state. Oh, then I need to do each and every effect. Really? Really? So you cannot turn on and off presets yet. So what if I just want to... I can't even turn it off. I've just added the hologram, and the only way for me to turn it off is to go in and turn these off manually. There we go. And if you did want to turn them on again... okay. Can I can't even group those, can I? So having that as a toggle is actually a brilliant thing to have. Okay, let's do same with glow styles. Duplicate. Sharpen. Duplicate. Tint. And the Venetian blinds. And then if we do test, just so I can trigger it here. Hey, it turned them all off. And it turns them all back on. Okay. It works. Nowhere near as much as you can do with OBS, though. That is true, King. That is absolutely true. But yeah, so far, this is looking pretty good. Pretty good. Guys, I need to be right back. 1 second. I'm going to grab some more water. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. There we go. There we go. That was it. We're already back. That was nice and quick. There was a bottle of water still in the fridge. Lovely. So yeah, you can definitely trigger your effects. What about if let's say that I want my camera to disappear. Let's say that I just want to be able to, like, let's say that I don't want to be able to be seen on stream, drinking or eating. So what we're going to do is we're just going to add a new one and we're going to go camera in out. Meld Studio, layers, set layer visibility state, facecam gaming, toggle. That works too. That's interesting. But the thing you can't do. Okay. I found something that this cannot do. I think. Pretty damn sure. Pretty damn sure this can't do it. Because what it can do is it can toggle the camera in out, right? But that just turns it on and off. Now, something that I really like to do in OBS is use the Move plugin. Because we can go right-click on the gaming scene, add a filter, and add a move source. And we'll call this move camera in. Then we choose the camera, which is the main camera clone. Get transform. Duplicate this one. Camera out. Move this over to the side. Get transform. And this now allows us to slide the camera. Hey, technician, how you doing? And that is something that they cannot do because they can't use the Move plugin. Like, their Move works, but what I would have to do to be able to do that in Meld, which, I'm afraid to say has crashed again. No, it's here. It's here. It's fine. I would have to duplicate the scene, move my camera out, and then switch between these two scenes. But that's really not the same thing. That is really not the same thing. That is, like, my video resets every time because I can't force it to continue. While here, I have one scene and I can just make Streamer.Bot trigger these to let it in and out, which seems a much better way to do it, to be honest. Yeah, you have buttons for a lot of it. Yes, you can link your Meld to your Stream Deck. You absolutely can. There's already a plugin for it that you can use. And of course, for Stream Deck, you can also make hotkeys, which you can then set in Streamer.Bot to do certain things as well, if you don't want to use the plugin. But yeah, you can just use the Meld plugin for Stream Deck. It does seem very intuitive. So Meld does seem very intuitive, and it feels quite good. But there are just these sort of small things which might turn into a problem, where because you don't allow plugins, you can't overwrite that transition. So I can't slide out without the scene changing. So if there's a transition, it's always going to do that transition. And if you change something right on the gaming scene, you're gonna have to redo that change on the the copy of the gaming scene where the camera is not visible. I'm gonna be honest, combine that with a lot of the things that are just not available for Meld Studio. If we look at the things that OBS can do, such as OBS Raw, by the way, people underestimate how freaking powerful OBS Raw is. They really do. Set filter states, set group source visible randoms. Like, you can set a random source. You can change browser source URLs straight through Streamer.Bot. And this is actually something that I use a lot. Have you guys used the set browser source URL? Because it allows you to set the URL to something like, oh, I don't know, somebody's Twitch profile image, which is quite nice. You can't do that. Don't think you can do that because it doesn't say it here. You can just set the layer visibility state, the track, which is your audio. You can switch scenes, change effects, and that's it. I would say in this particular thing, OBS definitely has them beat. OBS definitely has them beat, but that's again because OBS is open source. So you can go much further into the code and you can edit things at a much lower level and a much more, I almost want to say much like, you know how there's a difference between regular anti-cheat and kernel level anti-cheat because they can access a much more basic level of your PC. This is something that's exactly where I feel the same. OBS can edit things in Meld that OBS can touch on the top layer. Or sorry, Streamer.Bot can edit things in Meld that they can touch on the top layer. Things like your sources and the effects and that sort of stuff. But when you get to a point that you're looking at kernel level adjustments, which is something that kernel, it's not really kernel, you know what I mean. It's a much deeper access that Streamer.Bot has to OBS, which I genuinely think I quite prefer. Hey, B Technician, coming over from the YouTubes. Let's go, let's go. Oh, man. I gotta say. Like, this was a test, right? And there's a lot you can do. But I still feel, because OBS is so versatile, like, I don't think... No, actually, I know I wouldn't be able to create that particular widget. I would not be able to create that particular, the music widget above me, I would not be able to create in Meld. Because it requires that I can use Streamer.Bot to change what is in a text box. Which I cannot do with Meld at the moment. I can't change anything. And if I can't change anything, well, that's a slight issue. Oh. Apparently, I cannot authenticate to Spotify at the moment. What is this? Let me try and reboot Streamer.Bot quickly. Tech issues. They're part of the deal, I'm afraid. Let's reboot and see if that works. I would like to be able to connect now. Is the... No, it's not open. Okay. Just quickly making sure that it connects again and it actually works. Probably should set it so it connects whenever I open Streamer.Bot. Yeah, no, something's going wrong with my music widget. I think. But that's fine. Well, that's what we're going to be checking out next, because I'm going to be honest with you guys, I think we can officially give this point to OBS. OBS just has much more availability. Look, it changed the name of the song. It changed the image, by the way. It changed the album art. It has a timer running. All those things are not able to be done currently with Streamer.Bot in Meld. And they are in OBS. Ah, let's go, Technician. I'm happy you're here. Yeah, we are live every Tuesday and Friday over on Twitch as well, which is crazy to me. Tuesday, by the way, you guys will notice my videos go live at 5 from now on. I'm going to be live right when a new video releases, so we can even talk about that sort of stuff. Okay. We have now given what... So, Meld has 1 point for being the easiest to set up. They each got a point for the advanced things because they both can do it, but I still think OBS can do more, and especially with the integration with Streamer.Bot, OBS is a lot stronger. You can do so much more with OBS than you can do with Meld and Streamer.Bot. So, the final test. It's 2-2 right now. The question is, who takes the win? And for that, we are actually going to be streaming. Now, what I'm going to do, I have set this up so that it's streaming to a channel. And I'm going to take the simple output mode of OBS. Not going to do anything fancy with it. Not going to try and make it look nice and do cool stuff with it right now. And we are just going to set Meld up in the exact same way. So I'm going to go in Meld to my preferences. I'm going to add a Twitch output. Hey, Libra, how are you doing? I'm going to log in. Of course, it is going to log into the wrong thing. So I quickly need to open my other browser. Let's try that again. I need to log in to my alt account. And once again, I am getting murdered by two-factor. You're right, it's been a long week. Oh, damn straight it has. But today is Pi Day. And Pi Day is good. We like Pi Day. If nobody knew, I'm a mathematician. I like numbers. How's Meld faring? Well, currently we're 2 for 2. Yeah, they had a tie, and then each of them won one of them. One of the tests. So they have now, I have now logged in. It has grabbed my stream key. It's not going to show it, which is positive, because otherwise we'd have a problem. Audio,
Viking Pixie
fine.
says it's Friday, Pi Day.
It is Friday Pi Day. It is indeed. So we are going to be live on the channel, not Content Delta. I know, inspired name. Today, by the way, is my wife's anniversary as well. She got quite sick, so we're staying at home. They want me to stream in 4,000 kilobits per second. We're going to set that to 6,000, because that is what our OBS is set at. We're going to set the quality preset to... are we going to have to go to advanced mode? We may have to go to advanced mode. No, we don't. Wait, it set us good quality. So here we're also going to set it to good quality. Anniversary, yay. Yeah, we've been married for 5 years today. It's crazy. Time has gone so quick. Enable clipping. We're not going to record. We're just going to stream. We're just going to stream. So these settings are now exactly the same as the simple setup in OBS. That is what we're doing. Thank you, Frosty. Okay. Who are we going to stream with first? Well, first, let me just grab a benchmark, shall we? So, currently, as we speak, I'm looking at my CPU and that sort of stuff. See, we can put this on screen. That's my task manager. Thank you, Jack Dragon. 37 this year. That's awesome. Holy shit, that's goals, all right. And we're sort of stably running at about 25%, 26% CPU, 33, 34% GPU usage, right? 43% memory usage, 42 sometimes 44, but it's sort of that area. Now, the first test we are going to do is OBS. We're going to start OBS, we're going to start it streaming, and then hopefully this is going to go well.
Frosty Pie says purple.
Why did the color changer add it to the TTS? Hello? I'm sorry, what? See, this is why, right? This is why I have not made this public yet. Because there are bugs. We're gonna make it public, though. I fixed it already. That was a 2-second fix. I pressed the wrong button. So, we're gonna start OBS streaming. It's connected to the channel. And it's now streaming. It is saying itself, it's using 2.3% CPU. Let's see if it's correct. Our GPU usage is shifting slightly. Our memory usage has not shifted a bit. Like, not at all. Interesting. So, CPU usage definitely up. I'm going to say between 3 and 5% up. Which, if they claim a CPU usage of 2.7, is probably pretty accurate. Like, little spikes here and there. The GPU usage is about the same. I'm going to say occasionally, like there we have a spike of like 4 to 5%. So let's take the worst of those numbers and say that the CPU is requiring 3 to 5% extra and the GPU is requiring 4 to 5% extra. So let's just say 5. That's the worst case scenario. We're streaming, the network is not being extra used, everything seems fine for the rest. So, and just to prove that we are in fact streaming, I will open up the other stream for you guys. And then we can also, if I mute it, yes, we can see the stream quality. So the quality, I would say, is just 1080p 60. It looks great. There's nothing weird with it. It has a decent, like there's nothing that screams to me quality is being lost here. Not in the slightest. Feel that's pretty well. Pretty good. Fantastic. Okay. Gonna minimize this one. We'll get back to that. Because now we're gonna stop streaming here. And we're gonna stream the exact same thing. The exact same thing over from Meld. Now, the first thing I have to say is that since I booted up Meld, apparently I've used 2 gigabytes more of disk space. Let's go live. We are indeed live. We're hitting about the 60 FPS, which is nice. Meld does not tell us how much of the GPU, CPU we are using, which is interesting. Well, I die in the game, but that's fine. That's from last night anyway. Does tell us the bitrate, and the bitrate does not look stable. That does not look particularly stable. But we went with 6,000. Let's have a look. So, from the CPU usage, 25% still. I mean, you can't go further down, right? Is that going to stay at 25%? At which point it is significantly more efficient. Of course, this is not perfect, right? This is not a scientific experiment. But initial evidence, I would say Meld is performing better. I'm going to say 1 to 2% increase. Interesting. And if we look at the GPU, there's also no extra load there. Or not significantly. Does the fluctuating bitrate concern me? For me, yes it does. If I want my OBS will tell me I am between, like, it will update regularly and it will tell me I have between 7,500 because I stream at higher bitrate, but it usually tells me I will be between 5.8 and 6.2, like very steadily. Here it sometimes jumps down to 4,900. It will jump back up to 6K. And it goes so quick that I'm not sure. And it even goes up to 7. I just saw it tick to 7,800. That to me seems fairly unstable. But the important part is that the stream looks good. The stream needs to look nice. Let's pull it up. This is the stream with Meld. Same quality preset. Hi, Frosty. I can just see Frosty in the chat. 1080p 60. Quality seems similar. I don't see anything that is really craving more. CPU usage has gone up a little bit. I would say about around 2%. 2 to 3%. Yeah, Meld has crashed twice, which does worry me. Now, that is something that does worry me. Like, if Meld just sort of crashes, right? That's not gonna help. That's not gonna be good. Just want to see what the CPU is doing, because it's fluctuating quite a bit now. But that may have been because I had the stream open. 26%. Is it going down at all? Honestly. I'm gonna say, and I know I don't get the data right now. I wish I did. I wish I could see how much percentage I was using according to them. But in all honesty, I feel like it's very, very similar again. It might be minor improvements. Minor. Maybe 0.5% or something on my CPU. And 1% on my GPU. Yeah, no, I don't see... I'm gonna be honest, I don't see any difference. in quality. Like, it is just as heavy on our CPU. The only thing, so for me, that means I can give them an equal point, and it's 3-3, which means it's one. It doesn't help you guys because now we don't have an actual winner. But I think, in all honesty, that the genuine question here, the genuine question between Meld and OBS is, how much time do you want to invest into learning your, by the way, major tool for streaming? In streaming, you only get 2 tools. 3 tools. You get your OBS, you get your PC, and you get yourself. That's all you need to learn. You need to learn how to control your OBS. You need to learn what your PC can do and what hardware you want if you're a tech nerd like me, and making yourself better. So, for me, I think investing that time into being able to use a product well, and in a way that genuinely looks like it is going to exist for the next 20 to 30 years, I would invest my time into OBS. The other option, the other thing that we need to think about, and I have to come back to this because I think it's important, we need to come back to the fact that OBS is open source. From OBS, we know 100% where their money comes from. They cannot monetize. The reason they cannot monetize, if I'm correct, OBS is actually set up so they can't make money on OBS. Meld currently makes no money. We know nothing about them, and we don't know what's going to happen. We have no idea. So, what is the future going to bring? I don't know. How is Meld going to make their money? Well, we discussed 3 ways. It's either going to be in a freemium system where you have a free piece of the software and anything extra is costly, a subscription of some sort. 2, the whole thing goes to a subscription model in the style of Premiere Pro and stuff. Or they are going to run ads against you and the streamer becomes the product. Or they harvest your information, in which case the streamer becomes the product. Either way, it is not great. For that reason, and the fact that there are plugins, I would just learn OBS. Learn how it works. Learn how to work with the most important tool that you have. You don't need to invest a lot of time into it. It can be an hour, maybe 2, and you'll be fine. Absolutely fine. I don't think you need to do much else. I genuinely don't think you need to do much else. For me, yeah, this is an OBS win. This is an OBS win. But for new streamers, I understand why they choose Meld. Because it is easier to work with. It is less intensive to learn. Maybe start with Meld. And then switch if you know this is going to be the thing you want to do. One thing I've noticed which can be big for people who record in OBS is the recording format options are only MKV, MOV, and FLV. No MP4 option. Wait, Meld does not have an... Let me just switch over here. Does Meld not have an MP4 option? General... It does not. Oh, that is quite huge, actually. I mean, it's great that you can say, oh, I can, you know, for example, with MOV, you can... No, wait. Why does it even ask me if I want to... It asks me if the video bitrate should be the same as in the stream. But then I can't change that. Okay. You know what? You know what? Yeah, I know Premiere Pro needs MP4. I know DaVinci Resolve works better with MP4. And one of the things that I would say is really good in OBS, and if you guys didn't know this, this is huge. This is actually huge. If you go into your OBS and you go into your output, you go into your recording path right here. Look at your recording format. Set it to fragmented MP4. The reason you want to use fragmented MP4 is because of a very simple difference. So if you do regular MP4 recordings, it will start recording and record and record, and everything goes fine until you hit a crash. The moment you hit a crash, your OBS crashes, your PC crashes, something like that, it corrupts the whole file. Everything's gone. Now in MKV, on the other hand, you can record, and if you crash, this is still valid video. So you just start recording after your crash, and everything's fine. Yes, but I would still say go for fragmented MP4. Because fragmented MP4 takes the benefits of MP4, which is you can edit it in Premiere Pro. It is not as heavy to edit. It's not as big. Like, the file size is just smaller. And it takes the benefits of MKV, which is when you crash, it will just stop, and this is still a valid video, and continue recording, and it adds one massive feature. One massive feature. And that is that in fragmented MP4, you can add markers. I have a button on my Stream Deck. I can press it, and immediately there is a marker which stays in the recording, so that when I load it into my Premiere Pro, or I load it into my DaVinci Resolve, I can see a little marker, and I know that there was a good moment there. I know that is where the clip is. That's where the good stuff exists. So I don't have to watch 4 hours of my VOD just to find the good clips. I don't have to go to the start and watch everything, go from the end and watch everything. No, I look for the marker, and I know that's where the good is. That's what I want. Which for me has been huge. I have markers for when I switch scenes, when my ads start running, manual markers. My mods can put markers, and I could just load them up in my, and I can exactly see what's been going on during the whole stream. When somebody raids in, because usually when you're playing a game, you want to cut out the raid message, right? So you can, you know, do your raid introduction, do your hype, and then cut that out once you make new content. The muscle memory just won't stick. Deity? Deity? I will get to your question, Renee. I have seen it. And TCG, dude, how you doing? You want to do one thing? You want to do one massive thing, Deity? You can set markers up to get made whenever somebody makes a clip of your stream. That way you get all the good parts. Yeah. If somebody in your stream makes a clip, that's probably a funny part, and you can probably use that for content on other platforms. You can make these markers for everything. How you doing, TCG, dude? I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing amazing. I've been watching you for about 90 minutes since the raid. All 90 minutes has been good stuff. Thank you, Elmo. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much. Renee is asking over on YouTube. I always had a question. Would you recommend multi-streaming as a beginner, or just focus on a single site? And which of the two sites do you recommend? Okay. Let me explain. Yes. Yes, you can do that too. I will get back to that one in just a second, Libra. But when you're making content, you need 3 pillars. You have the pillar of live, the pillar of long, and the pillar of short. Those are your 3 pillars of content. Your live content, you are probably going to do on one of 2 platforms. You're either going to be on Twitch or you're going to be on YouTube. The second thing is your long-form content. Your long-form content, you're probably going to do on YouTube. Let's be honest, for most of us, it's going to be YouTube, unless you're very specific, and then you can pick something like Medium, where you write news articles or blogs about things. That's also a possibility. And for the short form, really there are only 2 platforms to pick from. Well, 3 now, but you can choose YouTube Shorts. You can choose, I'm just going to do TikTok, and you can choose Instagram. Those are really the only 3 good places to do short form content. Unless, again, you're a special creator, you do Twitter, so sort of, you do short form content in the form of Twitter posts. But they have to be actual content. They can't just be a comment or a good morning thing, right? So you're going to pick one in each of these that you focus on. So, for example, I will pick Twitch because that is my home. For YouTube, I will pick long form. And for shorts, I pick YouTube Shorts. The reason that I like YouTube Shorts is because the culture on YouTube, for me, as a, I'm going to say aged individual. Yeah, I'm aged. I'm like wine put in a barrel for a while. I came out a little bit better. Or so my wife keeps saying. And there, I just don't vibe with TikTok as a platform. If you vibe with TikTok as a platform, go for TikTok. 100%. And then what you're gonna do is you are gonna make the content specifically for these platforms. You're gonna learn the culture, you're gonna learn the pacing, you're gonna learn everything. And once you've learned all these things, what you're going to do is you're just going to repurpose it on all the other platforms. Make it once, post it everywhere. So if you're going to be live on Twitch, why not be live on YouTube too? And if people come in, like you guys have done on the Content Delta channel today, and they come over to Twitch and follow, which you guys have done on the Content Delta channel today, then that is only good. Because as a starting creator, you don't know where you are going to grow. I have a buddy of mine, Don't Fight Ducks, amazing content creator, decided to start doing shorts about 3 months ago. And started posting stuff on TikTok. But they chose to cross-post to Instagram and to YouTube Shorts. In 3 months, in 2 months, they got about 6,000 followers on TikTok, which, you know, 6,000 on TikTok in 2 months is pretty good. They got about 3,000 on YouTube, which, again, in 2 months on YouTube, pretty good. Without them having any idea why they got 25,000 on Instagram. You don't know where you're gonna grow. So why not just put your content, make your content for one specific platform and put it everywhere. And wherever you grow, that's where you put your focus. So, as a beginner, should you multi-stream? Why not? Just do it. Just try it out. And if it's not for you, it's not for you. That is fine. But for me, like, I would definitely recommend using like a Streamer.Bot chat, right? To get all your chat in one box so it's easier to read, which mine is not working with right now. But that's probably me being bad at this. But yeah, 100%, just multi-stream. Just multi-stream. Why wouldn't you? And what Libra was saying is absolutely correct as well. You can use the voice clipping in Streamer.Bot as well, Deity. So you can turn on the voice function and make a command that when you say clip that, it automatically clips or automatically puts a marker, which is quite nice. I can highly recommend using that as a feature if you forget to clip it or to marker it yourself. 100%. 100%. Okay, I think, guys, you have clips altered on with a !! clip command. You're setting that up on your deck right now. Might help you remember more. There you go. Go for it. Yeah. Hey, Bazooka, how are you doing? Guys, for those on Twitch, nothing's gonna change, right? You guys stay right here. Relax. But I think that is our comparison between Meld and OBS done. So, for those on YouTube, thank you all so much for being here. The VOD will be available from now. I hope to see you guys over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Content Delta, all one word. And until next time, it's time for me to be signing off.